Hi everyone, welcome to the Ever Seeking Empath. So today's reading is about what luck and blessings are coming your way. So I figured we'd get something a bit more positive for today just to see what positive things are going to be coming into your life in the near future. So there's no time limit on this, and this reading is timeless, so whenever it resonates for you, these messages are still valid. Before we get started, I do want to remind everyone that this is a general reading, so it might not resonate for everybody, so just take the messages you feel are meant for you and disregard the rest. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and comment if you feel so inclined, because it really does help out my channel and I'd like to continue to keep it growing. So we have 3 piles here today, and I'm using cards from the Forest Fae deck as our little pile markers. So pile 1 is the Sentinel. New opportunities shall manifest in unexpected ways. Pile 2 is the Gnome of Mushrooms and Buttons. Seek silliness and joy, they are wise teachers. And then pile 3 is Walker on the Wind. The raven shows the way, be courageous. Change and chance can bring exciting wonders. So just let your intuition guide you to a pile. We're going to start off with your tarot and oracle cards and then do your charms after that. And I did add some story cubes to the charms, so we've got kind of some extra things in there that might come out for you to give you some additional messages. So choose your pile, and as per usual, we are going to get started with pile number 1. Hi group 1, so if you chose the Sentinel for your little card marker, then this is your message, so welcome. So we're going to start off with your tarot and oracle cards and then do your charms after that, so make sure that you stick around and get your full reading. So first off, I'm just going to reread what's on this Sentinel card. The Sentinel, new opportunities shall manifest in unexpected ways. So right off the bat, I feel like some new opportunities are coming to you, and they're things you can't necessarily predict. Like, you can't tell how they're going to come about. You can't really see them coming. I feel like any people who are really wanting control over how something manifests, you'll probably be disappointed in the fact that you can't control this. This is going to come out of the blue in a way that you're not expecting. So let's start off with your tarot and see what they have to say. So you have the 5 of Wands, King of Swords, and 4 of Pentacles. So I'm kind of getting the impression that a lot of what is coming to you is going to come out of some sort of conflict or competition, because you have that 5 of Wands. So maybe that's what's unexpected about it. Maybe you've been fighting for something and you're not expecting something good to come out of that, or you're not expecting a different path to open up. Maybe you're fighting for one thing and a path is going to open up that isn't necessarily what you were initially fighting for. But I feel like you're going to have the wisdom to recognize whatever this path is and recognize that it is a good opportunity for you, because you have the King of Swords. So he's very wise, he's very strategic, very rational and analytical. So I feel like a lot of you are very much that type, and that's the energy that you want to lean on to really take advantage of this opportunity. But I feel like some of you might have a hard time letting go of things that you've been working for, or things that you've already earned that maybe are holding you back in some way, just because the 4 of Pentacles can be worry about not having enough. Like you've saved something, but now you're worried about letting go of, like, you know, the past monkey bar in order to swing forward to the next one. So a lot of you, I think, are having trouble letting go right now. You're feeling a little bit stuck, or you're not even recognizing how you're keeping yourself stuck by holding on to something that maybe isn't quite the opportunity that is needing to come in right now. So let's see what your oracle cards have to say. So you have fairy tales, letting go, detachment, moving on, number 19. So yeah, that's exactly what I was saying with that 4 of Pentacles, is letting go is going to be important. Moving on. So I am getting that kind of monkey bar energy again of like needing to let go of the last rung in order to swing forward to the next one. I feel like a lot of you are going to need to practice detachment a little bit more, and maybe you are pretty good about that, but you have a hard time when you've been working towards something to detach from that goal when you start to recognize that maybe isn't quite right for you, or it's not everything that you'd hoped it would be. And I feel like greater blessings are waiting for you once you learn to let go of this past energy. You have air spirit, knowledge, number one. So that's very much King of Swords energy. So knowledge, and knowledge allowing you to move on. And I love this because this is making me think of those pentacles, almost like you can follow three of those, but there's maybe one pentacle that you need to leave behind. This is also kind of giving me Six of Swords energy, like having the knowledge that you need to move on from this chaos into calmer waters. And like even here, this like fairy person that is reaching for her is going to hold her back or pull her down into the depths if she kind of keeps hanging on to him. So I feel like a lot of you do really need to let go. Even if it's something that you've wanted for a long time, it's just not serving you anymore. And this knowledge is going to help you. And I think this isn't going to come as a surprise to any of you. This is something that you're aware of, and maybe you just need that extra confirmation. But it's just saying, listen to that wisdom that keeps cropping up for you. You have oak, doorway, strength, journey, number one. And that's the second number one that you've gotten, because air spirit is also number one. So I love that. So that's about new starts as well. So doorway, strength, and journey. So I do think you are very strong. But doorway and journey is making me think you're going to have the strength to move forward into something unknown. Because with doorway, I'm almost feeling like it's this kind of mystical doorway where you can't really see what's on the other side. You just know that you need to pass through it in order to move into the time of abundance that's awaiting you. So I feel like a lot of you are very strong and determined, and I think you can rely on yourself a lot. You're very independent because you do have that King of Swords, but I think you're needing to release whatever it was that you thought was what you wanted. Like, I just have this energy of like needing to let go of whatever was behind you, whatever you were working towards in the past. It's just not quite there yet. You know, it's like, it's not a bad thing, but it's not as big as the blessings that are coming to you. You also have holiday. The answer you're looking for can be found during a vacation, retreat, or holiday getaway. So for a lot of you, I think that you might need to give yourself permission to take a break or do something fun. Just because I think a lot of you maybe need to clear your mind. I think with that King of Swords, he's always thinking, and he's very good about having clarity on things. But I feel like if you're stuck in that kind of chaotic Five of Wands energy, maybe you need to go and do something to clear your mind. You know, get away, get out into nature, get away from work for a while, or from whatever chaotic situation is kind of keeping you attached to it, so that you can get the clarity on what needs to be released. Sorry, I'm going to get rid of that cat hair that's on that card. And then finally, you have wisdom. So things could not be any clearer. You are very wise. You have a lot of knowledge. This King of Swords energy is very much what you're embodying right now. But I do think you just very much need to use that to recognize what's serving you, what is not, and allow yourself to accept the unknown. Because I think if you are a very mental, intellectual person, it's sometimes hard to accept that what is in our future is not set in stone. It's not known. You can plan for the best of things, but that doesn't always mean that things are going to work out as you planned. So yes, have a plan and have a strategy, but be willing to adapt as you move forward and release things that are holding you down along your journey. You just sometimes need to drop things along the path. If they've served you up to this point and you know that they're no longer going to, that's when it's time to let it go. And I think it's important that you use that wisdom to help you move forward. So we are going to get your charms now for some more detailed information. So group one, let's get some more information about the luck and blessings coming your way. Okay. So first off, I'm seeing no face down in the charms. So a lot of you might need to start learning to say no a bit more. Maybe that's what is the releasing. You know, you're starting to say no. You've been saying yes to something for a long time, and now you're like, nope, that's not working for me. So be okay with saying no. I is just making me think of being focused on yourself, your own goals, being independent as well. Not my circus, not my monkeys. That kind of, it very much fits right now. So a lot of you, I think, need to opt out of maybe investing too much in other people's situations, or again, if it's not serving you, release it. You know, don't worry about it. Don't take on responsibility for things that aren't yours to carry forward. You have the little Komodo dragon here. So the Komodo dragon is very independent. They know when to move and when to hold back. They know how to seize an opportunity as well. They watch out for the right thing, and then they strike when they need to. So I feel like a lot of you, it is that very independent, watchful energy. Like Komodo dragons, I feel like, are very aware of their surroundings. So I think that's something that you might need to be embodying at this time. I feel like some of you might be worried about opening a can of worms with this, or maybe you did open a can of worms. Maybe that's what this chaotic energy is you got into something and then you realize either it's too much or it's not bringing you enough based on what you're putting into it. So I think a lot of you are needing to release that and not worry. I'm looking at this dinosaur skeleton too, so I'm thinking about not letting your past hold you back, letting those old bones lie there, letting things die. And then I was looking at the magic beans because that was showing here too. And that just shows that there are new opportunities that are going to be a lot more magical than you're anticipating at this point. You have a lot of people, I think, cheering you on, and you might even be the cheerleader for other people. So maybe that's something you need to kind of scale back on right now, is being there for others. Not my circus, not my monkeys is like that, where as much as it's important to be supportive of other people, if you are needing to really focus on your own goals, don't bleed yourself dry trying to support someone else. You have practical here, which is Virgo energy. So that's very, very similar to the King of Swords, very particular, very detail-oriented, very rational. So that's something that you're very much embodying. And then Sagittarius, which is optimistic. So I think that's something that you need to embody right now as well, is be very optimistic about your future and recognize that what is coming in is going to be better than what you're leaving behind. You have the Witch here, which is making me think of personal power. So a lot of you, I think, just need to really trust in your own power, in your own wisdom, in your own knowledge. Believe in love. So for some of you, I think this might be a love situation where maybe you're in a relationship that isn't working for you, or you're getting kind of discouraged with the state of the world. Like you're in a situation with a lot more chaos than love, at least based on what you're seeing at the moment. And so it's saying move towards a situation that is more loving, but love can start with loving yourself as well. So just make sure you are doing that. You have the Clock here. So a lot of you, I think, are worried about the timing of this, especially because it's right next to the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. So I feel like you feel like you're late for something. Like it's too late to maybe find, the right love for you. Maybe it's too late for your career that you're wanting, like maybe that's why you're hesitating to move in a different direction right now, or to let go of the past, is that you've worked so hard for that. You've already built up a foundation there, and now it's like if you move to a new situation, you have to start from scratch, and will it take forever? Will you even get there? So try not to worry about that, because things will work out. Sometimes our past is just a stepping stone to the future that we're really destined for. We have the Scarab here, and that's kind of stuck to this other charm. That's stretching. So I feel like being flexible is one thing that I'm seeing, and preparing as well. And I feel like you are very well prepared, but the Scarab always just makes me think of good luck and longevity and transformation as well. So it is, that past release to move into a better stage. It's the caterpillar becoming the butterfly, really embodying who you need to be. So I feel like a lot of you are maybe hesitating, you have a lot of confidence, but there is this rational part of your brain that's I've worked this hard, that sunk cost fallacy, I think, is coming up, where that you've worked hard for what you have and you don't really want to let it go. and feel like it was all for nothing. But recognize logically, it's not all for nothing. It is helping guide you to the next stage, and your past preparation is going to help you in the future because now you have all of this wisdom and knowledge you didn't have before. It doesn't have to be where, you know, your current experience is directly translating to future experiences. You can just use those themes and the knowledge that you gather from that point to help you move forward. So just recognize that. So Group 1, I hope that this resonated. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, again, like, share, subscribe, comment if you feel so inclined. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Hi, Group 2. So if you chose the Gnome of Mushrooms and Buttons, then this is your message, so welcome. So we are going to start with your tarot and oracle cards and then do your charms at the end. So just make sure that you stay tuned for that so that you can get your full reading. So before we get into the tarot, I am going to read this card again, just so we can kind of see what themes are coming up. So the Gnome of Mushrooms and Buttons, seek silliness and joy. They are wise teachers. So I think a lot of you right now have some more play coming in, a lot more kind of childlike energy, just that pure unbridled joy is coming in. So maybe some of you are embodying that right now, or you're needing to embody more of that. But I feel like either way, a lot more of that is coming towards you at this point in time. So let's get your tarot cards. So you have the Eight of Swords, Six of Cups, and the Ten of Swords. So that's interesting. So Eight of Swords and Ten of Swords sometimes can be kind of scary energies just because it is very much about mental restriction. So Eight of Swords is kind of holding ourselves back, trapping ourselves, like feeling very stuck and like we can't make a move. But it really is just being trapped by our own mental state and our own thoughts. But notice she's got the power to release herself. Because yes, she's tied up here with this like rainbow string and she's blindfolded, but she has all these swords around her that she could use to set herself free if she wants to. And then the Ten of Swords is just often like rock bottom, like just being done with a situation. There's a lot of pain associated with it, but she's laying on a rainbow here, which means that good is coming in. So I feel like the worst is over. And I think some of you are almost like hesitant to stick your head out of the like little cave again. Almost like you've been going through so many issues right now that it's scary to like peek your head out, you know, like you've been kind of hibernating and now you're like, okay, is it safe to come out? That's kind of the energy I'm getting. And this is saying, yes, it is safe. Because you have that Six of Cups. So that's childlike energy. That's joy. That's silliness. Like we were talking about. It can be kind of reminiscing on the past and being nostalgic as well. But I feel like for a lot of you, this is just embodying that playful, joyful energy. That's what is going to bring you the blessings that you need. But I know that this deck has like a lot of rainbow imagery, because I believe it's like tarot at the end of the rainbow is the name of it. Or I'm close if that's not the exact name. But yeah, it's very bright, joyful energy. And this card is one of the most joyful cards in the deck. It's just that pure joy, you know, it's unfettered by any kind of worry about responsibility or stressful situations or anything. It's just focusing on, you know, what would make a child happy, that sense of wonder, that sense of excitement and optimism as well. But let's look at your oracle cards and see what else they have to say. So you have Green Man's Bride, Sacred Union, Commitment Ceremony, Maturing into Deep Relationship, number 38. So some of you might be focusing on relationships at this point in time, like maybe you are getting married or moving into the next stage of commitment in a romantic relationship. This can also just be maturing in general, or like bonding yourself to a situation. So it can be like committing to a career choice, committing to a place to live. But I feel like this generally is more interpersonal. So if it's not romantic, if that's not resonating for you, it could just be committing to family members or friends or something and just feeling like you've got their back and they've got yours. But I feel like for a lot of you, this is more like marriage oriented just because we have this, like the children as well. So maybe you have children or want children, but in general, this is saying that you're committing to a more joyful relationship, more joyful energy in your future as well. And if you currently don't have anybody, but you're wanting romance coming your way, this is saying that is coming. And being joyful is going to help you get there. But I feel like that kind of commitment is something that's coming your way. So you have elves, playfulness, no way. Number 15. So that's perfect because that is exactly what we've been talking about. That playfulness is coming in. I think you need to focus on being playful as well because that is going to bring you all of these blessings. Like, I feel like focusing just on those little joys and really focusing on having fun as well, and just kind of casting off your worries for a little while. Like, I know that's hard to do and sometimes it's not entirely possible, but just refocusing, I think, on joy and just being fully present and in the moment is really going to help you. And then you also have Mystic Meadow Sanctuary, number 26. So I feel like a lot of you, like, sanctuary was making me think how I was talking about, like, kind of sticking your head out of the cave, like worrying about if it's safe or not. I think a lot of you either have a sanctuary right now or you're wanting to develop one, like wanting to develop a safe space where you don't have to worry about anything. It's just calming and soothing, you know, so maybe some of you are looking at fixing up your home or getting a new home. Maybe you're building a home with someone else. Maybe that's what the Sacred Union card is about, is like committing to yourself, committing to a partner. But I feel like your space, like your physical space, is impacting this, and feeling at home with somebody as well, feeling free to be your whole self. That's something that's coming forward. You have number 14, the White Stag, shape-shifting, support, otherworld. So yeah, you have a lot of support in your life right now. So I think with this deep relationship card, I feel like that is kind of a center point of your reading, is deep relationships. So maybe reconnecting with someone from your past as well could be coming in, because that Six of Cups can often be someone from your past coming back around. So that can be even like a childhood friend is more what I'm thinking. I'm not necessarily thinking like reconnecting with an ex, but more reconnecting with somebody who is really important to your upbringing, like more important to like how you came to be. And then with Otherworld too, you have a lot of support from the other side as well. So I feel like a lot of you, if you're worried about not having enough support, you do have support around you, but just I think sometimes you might need to notice it, because sometimes it's hard to notice. But even if you feel like you don't have any support at the moment, you do. There are people here to support you. I'm going to move these up a little bit just so we have some more room on camera in the frame. But yeah, so I feel like a lot of you are just really focused on the people around you. And then shape-shifting is making me think of shifting from this kind of swords energy, feeling trapped, feeling downtrodden, feeling like you're at rock bottom, shifting that into a more positive energy. So even if you were someone maybe very mental, very serious, very planning things out and worrying about the future and like trying to take things from your past into account to help you not repeat those same mistakes, this is kind of a transformation back into focusing on the present for the time being. You also have Sacred Waters, number 30, Deep Healing, Emotions, Pilgrimage. So yeah, like I feel like a lot of you are focused on healing right now. So maybe that's something, is you are healing maybe from a past relationship or past situations, and maybe you're recommitting to yourself or to things that you promised yourself that you would do, rather than committing to another person. It could also be committing to a better person for you. But I feel like a lot of you have just, you know, you've been through it. That pilgrimage is just making me think like it's been rough. You've been through it. But there is a lot of deep healing coming up, just because this Six of Cups was sandwiched between the two like difficult swords cards. I feel like that's really saying that you are healing. You know, that's what's coming through, you know, like the hardened shell on the outside is starting to crack and the light is shining out. That's kind of the image I'm getting. And then you have New Home, moving as a step in the right direction for you. So I kind of got a little bit of that with like Sanctuary, when I was saying like the commitment might be moving or like focused on like committing to yourself and like focused on your physical space. So if you're not physically moving to a new home, maybe this is just creating a sanctuary for yourself, creating an area that feels more like home. It could also be like meeting a person or developing a relationship with a person who feels more like home, but you're just developing that kind of comfortable, comforting, like warm, loving space for yourself, whether that is a physical space or with somebody else. But I think for a lot of you, it is a physical space. So again, if you're not moving to a new home, declutter, fix some things up if they need fixing up, make sure that you're cleaning it really well, but also maybe decorate it in a way that feels homey to you. You know, try to make it feel more like your space. I know a lot of people, if you're renting, it's a little bit harder because you can't make permanent changes, but there are things that you can do even just by like changing out your throw pillows or your blankets, or, you know, putting some art on the walls. Things like that can really help everything just feel a little bit more like you and give you the space to really be yourself and to kind of come home to yourself. And then finally, we have forgive. So some of you, I think, need to forgive yourself. Some of you need to forgive somebody else. But forgiveness, I think, is really key here. So I think that's maybe the light that's shining through this difficult situation, is that sense of forgiveness. I think a lot of you maybe need to forgive your parents. Maybe some of you had rougher upbringings or like difficult family situations. Some of you, I think, need to forgive a past partner, but I feel like that's actually a smaller percentage of you. But I think a lot of you do need to forgive yourself for maybe sticking it out in a situation that didn't feel right, or keeping yourself trapped when you knew you could get out of it, or being unkind to yourself. Because I think a lot of the time, if you get trapped in your head, it's hard to be kind to yourself, even if you're kind to other people. I think a lot of the time it's hardest to be kind to ourselves. So forgiveness, I think, is going to help you move forward and help you focus more on the present and what can be done now, rather than kind of rehashing the past as well. But there's a lot more joyful energy coming in and a lot brighter energy. So I love to see that. But let's get your charms now for some more information. So we're going to get some detail with the charms and just see what they have to say. So group 2, some more luck and blessings coming your way. One of these actually went flying, so let me grab that one. So the one that went flying was Scorpio energy, and it says passionate. So maybe some of you need to reconnect with your passions. Scorpio is also about things that are hidden. Scorpio's, like, again, that deep healing really connects here, that deep healing and the forgiveness. So I do think a lot of you are needing to focus on that right now. You have the rain cloud here. So yeah, things have been tough, but the sun always comes out, rainbows come out, you know, nothing horrible lasts forever. So just recognize that this too shall pass. And I do feel like there's a lot of lighter energy coming to you. So I think just focusing on the present and finding those little tiny things, especially if you're having a hard time with that right now, that's going to be key here. You have peace. So yeah, I think that's really tied into the sanctuary message that we saw earlier, is peace. Finding a peaceful place, creating a peaceful place, that's really going to help you move through this. Because I think if you feel inner peace, it's easier to deal with the chaos around you. You have E and D here. So those might be significant initials for you with a person. Something might be coming up for that. And then the hedgehog. So you might be trying to protect yourself with that kind of prickly exterior because you're feeling very vulnerable on the inside. We have vampire teeth here. So emotional vampires, situations that are draining you, that's coming up. But you have a lot of personal power here because this tail is very much about power to propel yourself forward. Checking in with yourself. So whether it is directly health related, like checkups, going to the doctor, things like that, or just checking in with yourself, checking in with your mental health, your emotional state. Maybe some of you are thinking about seeing a therapist and you're not really sure. This might be kind of a nudge to move in that direction. You have the fox here. So that's cunning. It can be often like trickster energy. So sometimes I see it as like people who are kind of moving against you. But because we didn't really get that in the cards, I feel like this is saying your mind is tricking you. Especially because that was kind of next to the rooster. So that might be saying like the loudest voice in your head is the one that's tricking you into thinking that good things will not come to you or you're not worth it. Things like that. So this is saying that's a trick. That's not reality. That's the illusion that is kind of being put on things. What's really the case is if you get back to that kind of childhood wonder and joy and love, that's what you should be listening to. So I feel like that rooster is also kind of a wake-up call to move on from that as well. And then you have the little plane here. So some of you might want to be traveling, moving away from that, but that also just has to do with moving away from that energy, you know, moving on, moving forward. I feel like a lot of you just need to physically transport yourself elsewhere too. So maybe some of you need to physically get away from a more difficult situation, move like across the country or something like that, since you did get that card about moving. So that might resonate for a few of you, but it's probably not going to apply to most. But just keep that in mind. So I feel like a lot of it is just focused on kind of shedding the difficult situations and finding your own inner peace so that you can move through. But a lot more light, bright, wonderful energy is coming your way. I'm also feeling like the word delight also, since we were saying like the light is coming in, and you have the D and E, and for some reason that just kind of linked up in my mind. So I think the word delight might be important. So some of you also might have watched my last reading. There was a pile that had a delight card come out, so that's kind of an extra message if that resonates. So yeah, I feel like a lot more good, positive, joyful things are coming your way. I love to see that. So group 2, thank you for watching. If this resonates, please let me know by leaving a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, again, please like, share, subscribe, comment if you feel so inclined, because it really does help me out. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Hi group 3, so if you chose Walker on the Wind for your little marker card, then this is your reading, so welcome. So we're going to start off with your tarot and oracle cards and then do your charms at the end, so make sure you stay tuned for that so that you can get your entire reading. So we're going to start off by reading this card, again, just to make sure that we can kind of highlight any themes that are coming up. So Walker on the Wind. The raven shows the way, be courageous. Change and chance can bring exciting wonders. So I feel like this is obviously encouraging you to be courageous. I think there's some energy about following your gut as well. I'm also seeing like a little key. I never noticed that before, this key hanging here. So I feel like you do have the key to whatever exciting things are coming your way. So I feel like you've almost got like a piece of knowledge or something that you don't quite know what to do with yet, and what to do with it is going to be clear very soon. So just keep that in mind. That might resonate for you, I don't know, a few months from now maybe, but we'll see. So we're going to start with your tarot cards. So let's see what you got. So you have the Four of Swords, Queen of Swords, and the Two of Pentacles. So for a lot of you, I think maybe you need a period of rest. I feel like a lot of you are very independent, first of all, and juggling a lot of things at once. So let me start like card by card. So Four of Swords is rest, recuperation. It can be kind of just mental clarity, just really stilling yourself and looking within as well. And the Queen of Swords is a very wise card. She's been through a lot. She's got a lot of wisdom that she's collected from the difficult times she's been through, and she's very independent. So I feel like a lot of you are feeling like you're working alone, even if you physically are not working alone. But with that Two of Pentacles, I think a lot of you are juggling a lot. Like you're trying to juggle and keep all the balls in the air at once, and you're worried about dropping the ball. So this is saying try to kind of collect yourself and really take a breather. And I think some of you are maybe in the period right now where you have decided to take a breather, to regroup and really see what you can do moving forward. So some of you might even be like mothers who are juggling a lot of stuff at home, feeling maybe like you're not getting as much help from your partner as you would like. And you don't have to be a mother, but that's just kind of the energy that I'm seeing here. So let's see what your oracle cards have to say. So you have number 12, Gossamer Princess, communication, relationship work to be done. So I think this is encouraging you to communicate what you need, especially if you feel like you're juggling a lot. And then relationship work to be done kind of ties in what I was thinking as well, that maybe this is a situation where you have a partner who maybe isn't pulling their weight in the relationship or in your home life right now, and you feel like you're kind of carrying everybody at the moment. I'm surprised we're not seeing that 10 of Wands energy here, but that's kind of the energy I'm getting. It's like you're putting a lot of responsibility on yourself, but maybe that's something you've put down and you're like, look, I need some assistance. I need somebody to back me up. I need somebody to carry this for a little while. And if this isn't like an actual like romantic relationship or living situation, it could be like roommates where you feel like you're the only one cleaning. It could be a work situation where you feel like you're carrying the team and you need more assistance maybe from your manager or from your coworkers or from the people beneath you you feel like aren't carrying their weight, and you need to be communicating that. You have Moonlight Enchantment, Magic, number 25. So I think a lot of you have a lot of magic things coming your way. Like I think you definitely have that sense of magic right now, because the Raven represents magic as well, and that's the card that you chose. So I feel like a lot of you are maybe even looking for the magic in the world right now, and you're just so busy that you can't see it. So I think what's coming your way is seeing that magic again and feeling like the universe is conspiring to help you or conspiring with you. And then you also have Ancient Oak Spirit, Strength, number 2. So I think a lot of you are used to being the pillar for everybody else. Like everybody else is rock, like you're the supporter. You're the person who's carrying the load for everybody, and that's tiring. You can't always be the one to carry that entire load. So I think you're going to feel some newly infused strength, but I think you're also going to start getting that support from others too, because I almost feel like this is like a gathering place, like all these fairies are coming in. So I feel like a lot of people are going to gather around you and help you and support you if you ask for it. Like notice even these butterflies are flying around this fairy. So I feel like a lot of you need to see that, like need to see people gathering and conspiring to help you. So you have number 25, Dream, Manifestation, Plan B. And we just had, Magic was number 25 as well. So that might be a significant number for some of you. But Dream, that's also kind of some magical energy. Manifestation, Plan, and B. So I feel like a lot of you are the planner. Like you are the one making the plans. You're the one doing all the emotional labor in whatever the situation is. But with manifestation as well, I think things are coming to you. Things are starting to come together. And so that's really exciting because I just feel like there's this like building energy. Like even in this strength card, there's these little spirals of light that I feel like are starting to kind of generate, and they're going to become something a bit more solid pretty soon. So I'm seeing that. That's great. You have number 21, Rest, Stop, Recharge, and Self-Care. That is exactly the Four of Swords energy. So I love seeing those synchronicities. So yeah, a lot of you really need to focus on self-care right now. Even if you feel like you don't have time for that, you might need to delegate. You might need to tell somebody that you need a break and they have to take care of things for right now. It's not always fun being the person who has to like say that, but then communicate that you need somebody to pick up the slack. But I think making sure that you're making that time to recharge is important. So I feel like a lot of you are also already in that state right now where you're starting to recharge. So that's great to see, because I think if you're somebody who's very productive a lot of the time, it's hard to do. It's hard to talk yourself into that and to say that it's worthwhile. But rest is productive. It helps us recharge. It helps us actually recuperate and be able to take on more once we're back to that kind of full energy level. And then you have number 32, the Gatekeeper. Gatekeeper, Power, Abundance. So I think a lot of you do feel like you're the person in charge. Like you're the one who has to be carrying everything. You're the one who has to delegate to other people. You're the one who everybody looks to. So I think a lot of abundance is coming your way. For one, I'm seeing that coming in. But I'm also seeing that maybe you're seeing somebody else as that gatekeeper. Somebody else is blocking you from your abundance, or even it doesn't have to be a person, it can be a situation. But I'm feeling like for some of you, it's like someone not carrying their weight is preventing you from having the abundance you deserve, or like maybe a boss is in the way, or like somebody higher up you're seeing as this giant obstacle, this dragon who's hoarding all of this gold. So I feel like a lot of you need to really embrace your own personal power, take that moment to recharge, and then say what you need. That's really something that I'm seeing is like you need to move forward communicating what you need, since this was all about communication and relationship work. I think a lot of you are needing to actually state what you need, because the one downfall I see a lot with Queen of Swords energy is not communicating, like knowing a lot of things and really being conscious of a lot, but not communicating it all the time. The Queen of Swords tends to keep a lot of things within. So that might be something that you need to work on. And then fitting very closely with what we were saying, ask for what you want. Let the universe and other people know what you need. That's really what I feel like is happening, is that you're going to have a lot of abundance coming your way if you just state what you need. Because I think a lot of you tend to be like kind of silently resentful of other people, whether it's people who are more successful than you, or people who aren't pulling their weight, or, you know, people around you who aren't giving back what you're giving them. So I think you need to communicate that, because people aren't mind readers. I know I fall into that trap a lot of the time of assuming that other people just know what I need, and they don't. You know, everybody is very much focused on their own situations and focused on themselves, and not necessarily in a bad way, but it's like, especially if you communicate differently than someone else, they can't always anticipate what you need. So just communicate with other people, whether it's work people, roommates, family, spouses, you know, girlfriends, boyfriends, anything. Communicate and ask for what you want. Just make sure that you're telling people what you need, because that's the only way you're going to get it. And then tying in with the manifestation energy of this card as well, since it did say manifestation plan and be, asking the universe for what you want is going to help you bring in the rewards that you're looking for. And then finally, this is a great way to end the card portion of our reading, abundance. So yes, abundance is going to come your way. I'm seeing that in all of these cards, that there's a ton of magic and abundance and like beauty, and there's a lot of like material things that are coming your way as well, but you do have to ask for it. You can't just assume that people will know what you're looking for. You have to communicate that to the people around you and to the universe, and then you're going to have a lot more than you're expecting to be pouring in. So I love that. Let's get your charms now for some more detailed information. So group 3, luck and blessings coming your way. All right. So you do have this little poison sign, the skull and crossbones. So some of you are maybe worried about like toxic energy. Maybe there is a toxic situation that you're in that maybe you need to change or get out of. You do have a few repeated charms from some previous piles, because you have the hedgehog here. So that's, I think, a lot of the time showing your prickly exterior because you're feeling very vulnerable on the inside. And then you also have a fox. A different pile got a fox as well. It was a different charm, but it still was a fox. So in this pile, I feel like maybe some of you are feeling like there's someone against you. Maybe it's that gatekeeper that you feel like is trying to keep you kind of tamped down because you're willing to do all of this work. And I don't think that everyone is as sneaky as maybe you're assuming. But I think that's where it's coming into play, that you need to be asking for what you want. Yeah, you got the pack mule, which is very much about carrying heavy burdens, carrying things for the team, whether that's at home or at work. I think a lot of you feel like you're the one taking care of everything. So you are going to get the help that you need. You are going to get the abundance that you deserve, but you do have to communicate it. And you have to take a break, because there are a few a few charms here about like taking a break, relaxing. You've got the wave and the flip-flop. So going with the flow, vacation, recharging, just making sure that you're doing things to replenish your energy. So let's see here. You have D and I. So that might be significant initials for some of you. I know that that's got a personal meaning to me. So yeah, we have the D and I. So those might be significant initials. It could be a person. It could be a company name that comes to mind. It could be a word that's coming through here. You have the star with the little heart in the middle. So I feel like that's almost making me think of like the heart of the team. Like the team itself is shining, but you're the one kind of at the core of it, and you're not getting the recognition that you deserve. So that's something that's coming up. We have the rocket ship, so launching. So new things being launched. I feel like a lot of you maybe I'm almost picturing like the people who got a rocket into space. Like I'm thinking of the movie Hidden Figures, where, you know, some unsung heroes. So I feel like that's kind of the position that you're in right now for whatever this situation is. You do have the jack-o'-lantern, so that could signify fall and Halloween, but besides that kind of like timing oriented message, it could have been like a past or a future autumn time situation, maybe when this came up or when this is going to kind of resolve itself. But I feel like a lot of you maybe are the person to kind of protect the home, protect the team, because the jack-o'-lantern is placed on the porch to ward off like evil spirits and to protect you. Anubis is also a protective energy, so I feel like a lot of you maybe are kind of that protector of whatever you've achieved, whatever, like I feel like you're almost protecting wealth for a lot of people. Like maybe you are that kind of dragon hoarding gold, like you're not actually hoarding, but like you are that one protecting everything that you've earned and everything that the people around you need to survive. Yeah, and with the vampire teeth, I do feel like you feel like you're getting bled dry in a lot of ways, like whatever you're giving is not being reciprocated to you. Like you're the one who does all of the maintenance, you're the one who's making sure all the daily tasks are done. But focusing on manifestation and like the dreams that you want to come true is also going to be important. So I think delegating a lot of that other stuff to other people, asking for what you need, because there's this mermaid here that's showing her back, like she's not entirely seen, like her face isn't seen, so you can't really read her. So in some instances I feel like that represents like being alluring and something tempting, but in this situation I feel like it's that you're hiding your face, like you're hiding what you actually need and what you actually want. So things can't come to you until you actually communicate what you want and what you need. So, but I feel like once you do that, like that's the kind of the one barrier that is needing to be overcome right now is you communicating what you need. So, and thinking about yourself more, seeing this eye is just making me think you need to focus on yourself more and not just on everybody else. And that other stuff will get done. You just have to communicate to people that they are the ones who are needing to step it up a bit more at the moment. But then I think all of this abundance will be coming your way. You're going to be able to manifest what you've been dreaming about. You're going to be able to reach your dreams. And I think a lot more people than you're expecting are going to be willing to help you. It's just that they weren't quite clued in to what you needed. So communicating what you need is really going to help all of those blessings come towards you. So group 3, I hope that this resonated. I would love to hear if it does. So please leave me a comment below and let me know. If you enjoyed this video, again, please like, share, subscribe, comment if you feel so inclined. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you next time.